The producers and distributors of Tech AV technical instructional video programs welcome you to this program in the series Electrical Cables. During this program, you will learn the procedures which will enable you successfully to prepare and terminate a paper-lead steel tape armored medium voltage cable using a typical indoor heat shrink termination kit. During the program, you will be given time to discuss the principles and termination procedures with your course controller. Before proceeding with any cable termination, it is recommended that you wear approved safety clothing appropriate to the situation. Ensure that the cable has been isolated in accordance with the regulations and that you have the necessary authority, such as a permit, to carry out work on the cable. Cable preparation begins with the moisture test in order to check the belt and core paper insulation for moisture. Heat a small jug filled with resin oil to a temperature of between 120 and 150 degrees centigrade. Check the temperature of the oil with a thermometer. Alternatively, you may use the match test. Immerse the tip of the match into the oil. If the temperature of the oil is correct, the oil around the head of the match will froth and small bubbles will appear on the surface of the oil. Strip 150 millimeters of the cable to the belt papers. Remove a sample of the outer belt paper, but do not touch the end to be tested with your fingers, as they may introduce moisture into the sample. Immerse the sample in the resin oil compound for half a minute. Hold the sample just below the surface of the oil. During this time, check for frothing or bubbles on the surface of the oil, which is a sure sign that there is moisture in the sample. Repeat the moisture test for the belt papers nearest the cores. The fillers and worming between the cores, and finally the paper insulation surrounding the core. Completing the test when the conductors are exposed. If the results do reveal moisture, repeat the test on a sample taken 1 meter further along the cable. Report the matter to your supervisor if moisture is again detected. If the results are negative, continue with the next step in the process. We continue with the next step, which involves stripping. The cable is first stripped to the lead sheath using dimensions taken from the jointing instruction manual. To remove the jute serving, mark 2 points at a given distance from the end of the cable determined by the length of the tails required. Place a wire binder at the first mark and another binder approximately 75 millimeters beyond the first. The binder consists of 2 turns of strong copper wire. Make a ring cut against the first binder by cutting through the jute serving with a cobbler's knife. Then peel off the first layer of jute from the cable armoring. Repeat the procedure to remove the remaining jute serving. Using a hacksaw fitted with a sharp blade, make a ring cut into the cable armoring against the first binder. Cut through the outer layer of the armor, and then with the aid of pliers, remove the armor by unwinding it from the cable. Ring cut the inner armor, but don't cut all the way through. This will prevent any damage occurring to the inner sheath. Use a pair of pliers to assist in breaking the armor loose at the ring cut. Then remove the armor completely by unwinding it against the cable. Here we see that the armoring has been correctly removed, with no damage to the bedding or lead sheath. Next, remove the first binder. Then make a ring cut against the second binder by cutting through the jute serving with a cobbler's knife. Make a longitudinal cut through the jute, then peel off the jute layers to reveal the armoring. Remove the jute string bedding by unwinding it against the cable. Then cut off the strings against the end of the prepared armors. Always work in a direction away from your body and the sheath. This will protect your fingers as well as the lead sheath. Liberally apply paraffin to the bitumen impregnated paper bedding. Then gently heat the paper to soften the bitumen. Carefully unwind the paper. Then tear it off against the edge of the armors. Next, liberally baste the lead sheath with waste soaked in paraffin and remove all remaining traces of bitumen from the lead sheath and armors. Apply a few layers of clean cotton tape to the lead sheath at the armors. Carefully push the tape between the sheath and the armors. This will prevent the migration of compound during plumbing operations. Apply a 75 mm wide half-lapped layer of clean cotton tape to the sheath, commencing at the armors. This will protect the lead sheath during the cleaning and tinning of the armors, which we will demonstrate after the break.